What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Rawstocks. This is Rustic, and today we're going to be looking at Tesla's chart. We're going to look at where price came from last week, where price ended on Friday. It was a weird trading week with the holiday in there and a half trading session on Friday. We're going to look at where price is likely to head tomorrow by looking at some of our objective targets. So before we get started, don't forget to check out the description below. There's some links to Discords and to my socials, as well as other ways you could support the channel. At the minimum, please just like, subscribe, and share with all your friends. Helps to get our name out to more people as we continue to grow Rawstocks as an organization. So looking at the chart today, last week we kind of had an inside range week. It wasn't a huge bit, but we started off on Monday down at 231 and some change. And we traded up through Tuesday, setting a high on Wednesday. Wednesday also came back down and tested Monday's range. And then Friday we failed to take the low of the week. And we also failed to take the high of the week. So had a smaller range on Friday. Again, it was a low volume, light trading session, being a half day. Not surprised that we didn't get a whole lot of movement. Not to say there wasn't trades in there, but just less time to do it in and less volume to move the market. So you can see also this one of the purple boxes that we've been tracking has been our consolidation ranges, and you'll see it on a lower time frame chart. But we're still right here inside of that consolidation range, and we're still inside of our bullish channel. We're back below the median level of that channel. So could we likely test the support level? I think that that's where we're headed now that we're back down below. And so if we were to draw this out using our path tool, I think we're going to see something like this, back down to test this next consolidation range. Then I think back up there, and then I think we're going to potentially make a run back up into those 250s, 260s, and maybe above. Okay, I think it will look something like this, but we'll just have to see how it plays out. You see this first, after we set that low, that first move up brought us over the median level, back down to test support. Then we set our resistance level back down below median and tested that, right? Back above median. Now I think we're going to test support for our third touch. I think we're going to come up above that median one more time, come back down, and then make a run for the high of that. Now, if that'll be the end all be all, and we continue higher from there, we'll see. If we break out of that channel even further to the upside, then great. But we also could just kind of continue in this channel. We also could see price from there come down, or anywhere on here we could come down, break the low, and start to target liquidity. So this is just one thing I'm watching for. It's kind of a wave count also that I've been tracking. I do think that we saw a wave one here, a correction, another impulse wave here, right? And I think we're going to see a correction all the way back down to support. And then I think we're going to see a fifth and final wave up. And then start to take out that volume point of control that we've been watching that we just fell short of the last 2 weeks at the 253 range. And then again, we have that 15-minute unbalanced price range that has been there for a while at 261, and see if we can't get that heading into the next week or 2 weeks. Let's drop down into we'll go to the 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart, again, we got our channel, and on here I have an auto trend tool, just something I threw up. I use it occasionally just to see what it has to say. It's going to take your most recent highs and lows. It showed a bullish wedge forming here, where we ended up breaking out of that trend with that giant displacement candle on Wednesday. Something that I want to note in these two candles here is we have an inverted fair value gap, where we had a bullish fair value gap here, and in the same fair value gap we set a bearish fair value gap. That's called a fair value gap inversion, or an inverted fair value gap. And so now we would pull that fair value gap all the way across. You can see we've traded back up into it. So with the breakdown on this 4-hour chart of this trend pattern here, that would support the idea that maybe we're coming back down and being pulled into this fair value gap that rests below. And we have that trend line of support right here in this channel. So again, I'm not going to throw the full path up there, but something that I do anticipate is that we're going to see this come down here and maybe test just the trend line, or test this this fair value gap in here, and then probably see a move up from there. Things that I'm watching. To the downside, we got previous day high. We got sell side liquidity. Again, we have that fair value gap I was just talking about. Further down, we have internal sell side liquidity, external sell side liquidity, and a swing. And then below that, we have another resistance trend line, as well as our ultimate liquidity target would be this low here of 193.53. I think it's going to take a lot to get back down there if we were to get moving, but that's our objective targets. To the upside, we're looking at 238.70. Break at 238.70 would be testing our next internal liquidity target of 243.88. From there, it would be a short move to 246.67, which would be this swing external liquidity target. And then again, from there, we have our point of control, 253, we'll call it. We have another liquidity target at 257, we'll call it. And then we have our unbalanced price range at 260.87. You get a better look at where we're at in these consolidation ranges. Came back down, saw some more consolidation, bounced up from there, started to sell down. Do we see that come back down into this this consolidation range? That's what we'll be watching for that to happen this week. I know we got Cybertruck news coming out, and there's also some other things going on. So just be watching for data or news to drop, or different things that could move the market, and be watching for the direction that we're heading there. Again, Monday we'll be looking for accumulation. We have seen a lot of consolidation kind of here through last week, right? All in this level that we're talking about. We saw it pop up, we saw it come back down, accumulating. I do think that we're seeing the market accumulate for potentially another drive up, or long positions accumulating inside of here. But I wouldn't think it would be out of the ordinary to see them drop this down, accumulate some more positions, and then run it back up, ultimately to exit their long position. So something I'm watching for is seeing us accumulating inside of these zones, because longs will be, people who are going long are going to continue to build that position, right? We're building that position here, we're building that position up here. Right now we're building that position here. See if we get it to dump down for a little bit of manipulation, and then boom, just rip it up into that 250, 260 range. Would be a nice way to see it happen. So we'll be paying attention to these different levels in here, and we'll be paying attention to our channel to see if it acts as support. But again, outside of this channel, we have this fair value gap. So I would expect that even if we did break this channel by a little bit, that this fair value gap is going to offer us the support where we're not going to close it. We're going to find some more liquidity and then continue to head higher from there. If we drop down into the 1 hour chart, just another look, a lot of consolidation happening here, right? We saw that run up, we dipped it down, we consolidated, building up, all of this is just building positions, not a lot of movement. Try to pop it up, saw some more consolidation, dumped it down, consolidating again. So a lot of positions being accumulated in this area. Whether that's to the upside or to the downside, we're going to see that over the next week or two. But again, just a closer look at what I think might happen. We might see this early liquidity target swept and then dump it down into this, either this support line or this consolidation range. Now, on the 1 hour chart, we do see a megaphone pattern that has developed. So just another thing you could be watching. It's not a smart money concept, but it's a pattern you could be watching. So this would support what we looked at on the longer time frame. Say we sweep the liquidity, and then we'll use our path tool, not our arrow tool. So let's say we just maybe sweep liquidity early next week, and then we dump down, and then we see price just kind of get walked down into our consolidation range, into our our trend of support. But maybe that dumps down further here, looks like it's going to break support, comes back up, tests it, then sees it run right into this fair value gap. So again, we know that fair value gaps are magnetic, and so we are looking for price to return to this fair value gap if price wants to ultimately run higher. Now, if the ultimate goal is to run price much lower, then we're going to see liquidity swept on the upside, and then we're going to eventually dump back down. So we're going to be watching to see if price heads up or heads down early into next week. Again, Monday, we're looking for consolidation or accumulation. We're looking for manipulation on Tuesday. We're looking for distribution on Wednesday, potentially Thursday. Thursday can also be reversal days. And then Friday, we're looking for a reset. I do think that we saw a wave 1, 2 here on a correction, and I do think we're going to get our final wave 3 to the downside as our last bit of distribution in that correction, or we call this reaccumulation because the actual move has been up here. So if we're looking to head much higher, and this isn't just a 1, 2, 3 ABC correction move in what's going to be a dump much lower, if this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 up higher, then what we're looking for is this is, your first leg of distribution, right? Reaccumulation here as we go down. Next leg distribution. Okay, and then we get reaccumulation, and then final leg of distribution to the upside, which could just be this liquidity target, could be our support level up here, right here on the trend support, or it could be this bigger downtrend that has offered resistance in the past. But we'll be watching those. And again, if this is done and this is just an ABC corrective move, then what we're looking for is a 1, 2, 3 will take us much lower. 4, 5 will take us even lower than that. And that would be a start of a move much, much lower. So we'll be seeing again, which way is it heading early into next week? Which way is it heading next week? If we're heading higher, we got our objective targets and our levels. If we are heading lower, we got our consolidation ranges. We got our channel support. We have our objective levels to the downside. And then we have some additional support trend lines that will offer support as well. Okay, last thing I want to do is look at the 15-minute chart. Just gives us a little bit better look at what happened on Friday. So here we got Friday's price action right here. Okay, we open up, we saw just a quick pop and a drop, and then we rallied up from there, and then we sold off, and then we consolidated into the end of the day. And so one thing I want to look at here is just looking at our high from Wednesday and our low. And I want to look at here. So from the weekly high down to the low on Friday or the low of Wednesday, we got back towards equilibrium, and then we kind of sold off from there. Didn't quite get up into this fair value gap here, and we got into this wick that offered liquidity, and then we saw it close out from there. So we're just right above that consolidation range. Again, we already talked about what that might look like. We could pop up, take this little bit of liquidity here, or it could run a test on the previous week's high. But I think that the ultimate look is that we're going to head back down kind of into this consolidation range, maybe into this consolidation range, and run a test on support. I could be totally wrong. We could just dip down early and then just start running up. We've just been kind of hovering. Again, here's a closer look. As you can see how much back and forth we've had over this median line. But you see we come down to it. Boom, 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 right? We're consolidating on it. We run a test on support, or we set our first point of support. We come back up. Boom, 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 right? See, we just kind of like hover and trade along it. We dip back down, set our second low on the support. And from there, ran straight up to set that high where we set our channel. Okay, now we're back down. We're hovering around over and under, hovering around that median. So we got two objectives. We're either going to run a test on the high again, and we're going to do that pretty quickly out of the gate, or we're going to come back down and we're going to test support, and then we're going to run a test on the high. So those are two different things we got going for us. Lastly, I want to show you on the 15-minute chart, we got another megaphone pattern. This is a bullish megaphone pattern. I don't think it's going to hold, but it's something we could be watching as we potentially run up early on in the week up to this channel support level. So it's pretty aggressive megaphone pattern. I'm not going to put too much stock in this one because this was into the end of the trading session on a low volume day. So I don't, when Monday's volume kicks in, not so sure it's going to end up holding. You can see actually we've kind of like traded outside of it already. So it'd have to pop back up to it and be pretty aggressive on that run up early on in the week. If not, we're just going to drop down back into consolidation, take these lows back into consolidation range down here, and then our support level. So be watching for those different things. Hopefully this has been helpful. I'll be back on the next one tomorrow after market trading hours. Thanks for the support, guys, and we'll see you later.